Now I have the pleasure of being joined by Dave Bagatelle, alum from class of '86. And Dave, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great weekend here. We have nice weather after the winter apocalypse this last few weeks. Dave, what are your thoughts being back on campus now?
Well, it's great to be here. It's great to see excitement back at Wesleyan involved with the athletic program. The program's been down the last 5 to 10 years, and I think that, speaking for the football alumni, I think we all feel that things are moving in the right direction now under Coach Whelan's guidance.
Yeah. Speaking about the athletic program, I know you're heavily involved. One of the areas that Coach Whelan was mentioning is the athletic mentoring program.
Right.
I'm wondering if you could discuss how that got started and what its role and what your involvement is.
Sure. Well, I mean, one of the things that Coach Whelan brought with him from whence he came, we don't talk about where he came from, of course, but was the mentor program. And what he's done is he's gotten the alumni involved with mentoring the upperclassmen, the juniors and seniors, and I guess to a certain extent informally some of the underclassmen who some of us have recruited. So my mentee is Brett Bendazian, starting inside linebacker. What he tries to do is match up alumni with student athletes, similar interests, and who are from the same area. So Brett is from North Jersey. He went to Bergen Catholic High School before he went to prep school. He's from Wyckoff, it's where his family lives now. And he's also interested in career and finance, which is what I do down in New York. So what the program's involved with is, I help him with reviewing his resume, talking about interviewing, talking about different career choices, different companies, try to network with him, connect him with some of my network. When there are students here, hopefully help them land a summer internship, and then once they graduate, hopefully help them land permanent employment. I think even beyond, I think the mentoring program will continue. I mean, I could see Brett and I staying in touch throughout his career, and I've got about 25 years on him, so hopefully I can provide some guidance. And I've already identified who my next mentee is going to be, which is freshman Mike Riley, who played at Ramapo High School. He's also from Wyckoff, just coincidentally. So I think it's a great program. I think it gives Wesleyan an edge. The job environment with the economy the way it is so challenging. And I think any guidance and assistance we can give our student athletes, not just football. I mean, this is a program, the Athletic Advantage goes across the entire athletic department. I'm also a member of the Athletic Advisory Council, which is kind of a subcommittee of the Board of Trustees, and we're involved with helping the student athletes here and across all the sports. And I know the Athletic Advantage program, we had a meeting here yesterday, was a big part of our conversation. It's a big area of emphasis for the university.
Great, yeah, it's definitely, as you mentioned, with the the economy and the environment of it, that get our Wesleyan just that bigger, that next step once they move on.
And it is surprising, Mike, that a lot of the, fortunately, and hopefully they're not watching this, but a lot of the other NESCAC schools aren't doing things like that. And I think, a very, very, very small percentage of our student athletes end up continuing with athletics in any kind of a professional capacity. So I think the ability for us to help them determine what's next for them after school is extremely important.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, I know you have a good relationship with Coach Whelan. I was wondering, since his arrival, some of the changes that you've seen in the program and the impact he's making.
Well, I mean, he brings a level of excitement. I mean, I think across all facets. I played with the coach. He was a senior when I was a freshman. I played defense. He played offense, so he used to block me in practice. He was a little bigger than me, but
yeah,
you can ask him how that came out. He's a big guy, and I was the obnoxious freshman who was coming in and playing. But I was his first year out. He coached defensive line, so I actually played for him when he was a coach too. But I think what Wales brings to the table is an excitement for the alumni, for the parents, for the players, and I think for the student body. I think that we don't have the horses yet. You can see that on the field. We're just not quite there. I think we will be. 2 more years. I think we'll be competing with the upper echelon of the NESCAC. But every game, despite that, I mean, he's put together an all-star coaching staff. I think we feel we can compete just because the X's and O's, because he's teaching the players correctly, he's putting them in the right spots on the field, right schemes, good teaching. I think the other things he's done is he's gotten the alumni involved in the recruiting. I mean, recruiting is where it begins and ends. You know, we don't have NESCAC rules go way beyond Division III and NCAA rules in terms of recruiting, what they can and can't do. So having an alumni network of 75, 100 alumni out there scouring, looking at the newspapers, going to high school games, looking for players, talking to parents, that kind of thing is extremely, extremely important because, you know, the coaching staff is 8 to 10 people. They can only do so much. You know, there's still, you know, the prime time recruiting season is during the season, so it's very, very challenging for them. So I think he's doing a great job with that.
Yeah, and it's great to get that network around there because, like you said, recruiting is where it's at. It's where you're going to start your program. It's how your program will either stay at the top or will fade off, and getting the great alumni that we have involved around the country, it's just tremendous.
I think the amazing thing, Mike, is, you know, when I was a high school senior, I didn't decide where I was going to go to school pretty much until the spring of my senior year. And nowadays, you know, they pretty much know, these players know by early decision cutoff point. And it's, you know, the recruiting season is, first of all, it's 24/7. It's 365 days a year. And it's really your junior year is the big year now from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, most definitely. I know during my recruiting process, it started the junior year, and like you said, early decision, that's when you're having to make a lot of your decisions right during football season. So if you have an alumni who can make that connection, keep the conversation going, it's definitely a way to boost the program. Just want to, before we go, I asked Steve earlier, looking for another prediction about today's game. I know you said coming years we should be seeing some bigger movement, but what about today? What do you feel?
Well, I mean, we've had, you know, realistically, we've had a couple of tough losses this year. Arguably, we should be 5-1. We shouldn't be losing to a Hamilton and a Bowdoin the way we did. I think Williams is a beatable team. You know, we played very well in the second half against, in my opinion, the class of NESCAC Amherst. I think if we put that kind of effort forward for a full 60 minutes, I think we can beat Williams. I'm going to predict the Wesleyan win. I'm going to predict 24-10.
All right. All right. Sounds good to me. A win is a win.
A win is a win.